So the subject we're going to talk about tonight is the international cyber politics and the digital threats. And we will also talk about the things like the cyber terrorism and the rise of China in the cyberspace. And we know the internet technology is the things we are using every day. In fact, some of you are using it right now, right? And it's also the crucial element for the modern country and the modern human civilization. And although some people regard the internet technology just a simple informational technology, but it has become actually the international politics issues, and the large number of the malicious activities in the cyberspace also make it become a hotspot of the international security studies. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So the first question is, who created the internet? Anyone know that? Who created the internet? In fact, the US government, or more specifically the US Army, created this new technology, and which is directly related with the nuclear crisis during the Cold War. You know, during the Cold War, the United States is continuing to confront with the Soviet Union and threat each other with the nuclear bomb. So the US Department of Defense, the DoD, thought the US Army should have a more reliable communicational system, which should be more reliable than telephone, and can ensure the military bases and the government departments everywhere in the United States can maintain the connection when the nuclear attack will happen. So that's why they create the internet. And at the late of the 1960s, the US Army had transferred this new technology to the Stanford University and invited some scholars there to participate in the process of research. And this brand new technology had immediately attracted a lot of young students to join the team to research it. The internet technology has gradually matured in the 1970s, and it just met the trend of the rise of the personal computers. And the combine of these two new technological products has created the trend of informational revolution. In Chinese, we call that 资讯革命. And besides the rise of some big enterprise like IBM, some young entrepreneurs like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they are also decided to found their very own companies. And in the 1990s, the influence of the internet technology already covered everywhere in the United States. And the digital economy led by Microsoft and Apple Computer also created amazing prosperity for the United States. And after we enter the 21st century, you can see the invention of things like ADSL or Wi-Fi or mobile network. These things has combined with the invention of the smartphone, the phones made by Apple Computer or Google. So internet has become the irreplaceable elements to the modern country and people's daily life. You can see today people are using internet for business stuff, communicate with each other, and modern countries' governments, administrative affairs, and the defense affairs also rely on the internet deeply. However, some experts also pointed out the wide use of the internet, although it created a lot of amazing convenience for the modern countries, but it also made the modern country and society become much weaker, because we know there are a large number of the malicious activities and virus exist in the cyberspace. In other words, protecting the national network system we're using every day is a very, very difficult mission. So how to deal with the cyber threats, how to protect the cyber security already become a new and urgent policy issues for every one of the countries. For example, the US government has realized the importance of the cybersecurity and released a lot of regulation and executive orders after the 1990s. And other countries also took many actions. So the Trump member used this short video they made to emphasize the importance of the cybersecurity. Now, let's talk about how and what will happen when the cyberspace becomes a new stage of the international politics. I think there are two trends should be noticed. The first is the trends of the militarization in the cyberspace, which means many countries has established their cyber army in recent years. And the second trend is about the argument between China and the United States about the internet governance model. So let's take a look. Well, in the past few years, we can see almost every country has established their cyber army. For example, China have admitted they have established the cyber army within the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, in 2010. And countries like Russia, France, and Germany and Japan also organized the new cyber military units in the past few years. By the way, Taiwan, we have established our very own cyber military units in this year, 2019. And the United States has set the cyber operation groups, 网络行动小组, within the National Security Bureau since the 1990s. And after entering the 21st century, they has established the Cyber Command. And when President Donald Trump took office in 2017, he has promoted the status of the Cyber Command to the highest level within the military system and expanded the scale of the US cyber troops. So some scholars have warned that the trend of the militarization of the cyberspace will highly increase the risk of the occurrence of cyber war or cyber arms race. In fact, there were several large-scale military, cyber conflicts happening in the past few years. I can give you two examples. The first one is the cyber attack on Estonia and Georgia. Those two small countries you have heard before. In Chinese, we call that 爱沙尼亚 and 乔治亚. And during 2007 to 2008, these two small countries were attacked in the cyberspace. Their network of their school, governments, financial institutions, and medias were invaded and paralyzed by some unidentified hackers. And it was a very rare case, such a large-scale cyber attack toward sovereign countries. And the international community has highly doubted Russia since these two countries just have some diplomatic controversies with Moscow at the time. However, the Russian government has publicly denied, so we don't know who really did that until today. And the second case is called Stuxnet. I don't know if anyone of you have heard that before. In Chinese, we call that 政网. This is a new computer virus. And in 2012, information security companies in Germany found out this new computer virus named Stuxnet. And the famous public media, the New York Times, immediately released a report to point out this virus was made by Israel and the United States together. And they used this new virus to invade the control system of the nuclear industrial equipment in Iran to obstruct the project of developing the nuclear weapon. And if you review the related news, we'll find that the US government and Israel, they create this virus but they used the computer in Taiwan to invade Iran system. I have been heard that computer was in the Huahan University. So this is a special case can show us how the modern country can use a cyber attack to invade other countries' national network system. There's the other very famous virus you may have heard before. In last year, we call that WannaCry. It caused a catastrophe worldwide, and some report point out that the North Korean government made this virus. WannaCry is a virus can invade your computer and control your computer, and you have to pay by bitcoins. They say, I will give you 5 cents your computer back. So this case, no matter the WannaCry or Stuxnet, this case showed the occurrence of cyber war is not just a science fictional imagination, which is the real threat exists in our daily life and could happen any moment. However, some experts also mention that the development of the cyber military power can create some advantage to the modern countries. The first one is the concealment, which means cyber attack is highly concealed. Attackers can secretly invade targets' network system and to steal the data, and this overall can choose to destroy the system and cover its real identity at the same time. And since to confirm attackers' real identity is very difficult, so that means these attackers usually have a great chance to avoid the accusation and the punishment. And the second advantage is flexibility. Cyber attack is flexible to use. It could be used as an independent operation in a war, or it could be used as a part of a traditional military conflict. In fact, if you look at some research report from the American think tank, and they have warned if the mainland China launch a war toward Taiwan someday in the future, the first thing they will take is to paralyze Taiwan's network system, to cause the social chaos or undermine our defense power. In fact, Taiwan do have some special importance in the international cyber politics. Many informational security companies in America or European countries have appealed the international community to invite Taiwan to play a more active and important role in anti-cyber attack affairs. And for example, anyone know this guy? Is the former U.S. National Security Advisor. In Chinese, we call that 美国国家安全顾问, John Bolton. When Trump administration presented their national cyber strategy in September 2018, the former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, who has publicly announced that the current U.S. government will try to further strengthen the cyber cooperation with Taiwan. So, why Taiwan is so important in the cybersecurity affairs? Well, the answer is our network system has continued to face a large number of cyber attacks from the other side of the strait. You can see the statistical data shows that the number of cyber attacks to some government departments, especially our National Security Bureau and Presidential Office, is more than 20 million times per month. It's a very, very big number, right? So we have to admit this situation is undoubtedly caused the national security challenge to us, but it also offers a lot of virus samples and experience to deal with these cyber attacks to us. So we can share these resources with our allies, for example, the United States or Japan, to handle the cyber threats from China. So in recent years, the other policy issue in the international politics, cyber politics, has received a lot of attention is the argument between two governance models of the internet. In the past few decades, America and its allies, like European countries and Japan, have continued to advocate a model of internet governance named cyber freedom. And this model insists that there should be no boundary in the cyberspace, which means the information from every country should be allowed to flow in the cyberspace freely. And supporters of the cyber freedom model, they believe which can make the best use of the internet, because that means people in every place on Earth can get and share information online. And even those poor and backward countries, they can use the advanced technology created by American or European countries to improve their citizens' livelihood and promote the education affairs. But China has a different opinion. President Xi Jinping and his colleagues believe cyberspace should be also covered by sovereignty, just like sovereignty can cover the land, the sea, and the sky, and created the idea of territorial sea and airspace. So, of course, there should be a boundary within the cyberspace. And based on the sovereignty, every country should have the rights to control its national network system. Country should have the right to deny the information from other country enter its cyberspace, and country has a right to control its citizens' online activities. So China believes this cyber sovereignty model, in Chinese we call that 网路主权, can prevent the digital invasion from other countries and can prevent various cyber crime. And it can also stop people to get the inappropriate information online, which is benefit to the public order and stability in the cyberspace. So in the past few years, you can see the Chinese government and Washington has continued to debate on this issue, the difference between these two governance models. The Chinese government announced that the reason that America and its allies continue to advocate cyber freedom model is because this model can make these Western countries, they have more advanced technology to dominate the internet and enter other countries' cyberspace freely. But the US government has criticized the idea of cyber sovereignty will undermine the value of the internet and seriously threaten the people's freedom and human rights protection in the cyberspace. So you can see some countries in the world today, they are insist cyber freedom is the core value of the internet, like the United States, European country, and Taiwan. But some countries believe cyber sovereignty is a more reliable governance model, like Russia, like South Korea, more prefer this model too. So as a result, you can see the international community has split in the vote of making the new international telecom regulation, 国际电信规则, in 2012. And this argument is continuing still today. So next issue we're going to talk about is the cyber terrorism. Since the 9/11 terror attack happened, you can see terrorism has become the nightmare of the international community. And considering almost everything in modern countries is highly reliant on the operation of the internet and the network system. So just imagine if few terrorists can cause the catastrophic like 9/11 incidents by hijacking, what will happen when these terrorists can control the national network system? So how to deal with how to prevent the occurrence of the cyber terror attack has become the other urgent policy issue for every country in the world today. So in general, we can simply categorize the cyber terror attack into two different types. The first type is digital attack, which means terrorists invade the network system of some countries, school, media, or government departments, and paralyze it and steal the data and cause the damage of the data or property. And the second type is the physical attack. Imagine few terrorists invade the control system of the high-speed rail and intentionally cause the traffic accident and killed a lot of people. That's what we call the physical attack. And fortunately, these two types of cyber terror attack never happened before. Never happened. And I think the main reason is to invade the national network system is extremely difficult. So ironically to say, if a person who has the capability to invade and paralyze the national network system, then he doesn't have to be a terrorist. He will be very popular in the informational industry and get a high pay, right? However, although the serious cyber attack didn't happen before, but some scholars also noticed that the number of the terrorist activities in the cyberspace has continued to increase. Especially the terrorists from the ISIS, you may have heard that before, Islam. And these terrorists seems very interested in some new internet social media like Facebook or Twitter. I guess most of you have used this social media before, and you can see this social media have risen in cyberspace rapidly in the past few years and gradually replaced some traditional websites like 无名小站, right? And these new social media, they have some obvious advantages. The first one is they know how to encourage their users to share their personal information, their thoughts, or their video records online. So that means when people using these social media, users are no longer to be information receiver but a supplier. And the second advantage is this new social media is highly connected with people's daily life. They have some convenient functions like shooting videos or online communications. So people can use this social media to connect with each other and get and share information in them anytime. And the third is these new social media are very often to encourage its users to establish the friendship with other users online, and also encourage these users to establish the digital community. So that means the information can transfer in these social media through the virtual interpersonal network with very, very high speed. And the above features are very, very attractive to the terrorists. Although these terrorists cannot successfully invade and control the national network system, but they can still use this internet technology to promote the development of their organization if they know how to use it properly. The first way to use that is creating the terror atmosphere. Here's a simple question. Why terrorists want to kill people? ISIS or Bin Laden, those terrorists kill a lot of people. But why? They don't even know people, right? What's their purpose? Yes, something else. Specifically to say, creating the terror atmosphere. He wants people to feel fear and try to affect countries' foreign policy through that. So killing people is not the purpose of the terror attack. Creating terror atmosphere is. And we have to say these social media are just suitable for that. Many terrorists has realized that social media is a wonderful approach to pass rumors and cause the panic within people. For example, if you remember, ISIS has launched a terror attack in Paris in 2015. And when the 2015, not 2005. And when the terror attack happened, those ISIS terrorists have used the Twitter to pass some fake news and intelligence of the terror attack, and successfully make the French people feel into chaos and fears. And the second reason is collecting sensitive information. We know we can find the information we need through the Facebook. If I'm interested in some individuals, I can check his personal information on Facebook or Twitter. So some terrorists realize they can do the same thing. A few years before, ISIS wants to try to collect the personal information of the employees of FBI and CIA online in the Facebook, and they have released this information to its followers and appealed them to launch the assassination. And the third way they use this social media is obtaining the important resources. We know if you want to develop a terrorist organization, you need two things: money and people, right? So terrorist organizations, they can seek the labor resources online in the Facebook or Twitter, since the user of this social media usually will share and open their personal data, so they can spread them and find the guy we need and try to hire them to join. And they can also initiate fundraising activities online. And I have to say, unfortunately, the development of some virtual currency like Bitcoins already make to get money online today much easier. And of course, some terrorists also regard this social media as a great approach to promote their public image. For example, ISIS, they are very often to use the live stream 直播 to demonstrate the process of the terror attack. Why? They want to show their followers that we are work hard. Yeah. And at the same time, they are use the other Twitter account to release some pictures about Kitty and the muscle guys together, and successfully caused the discussion and attention in the youth community. So in order to prevent these terrorist organizations continue to abuse the internet technology, the US government already passed a bill in 2018 to authorize the customs to request the personal information of the account of the social media of some suspicious individuals. And companies like Facebook and Twitter also dedicate to making the anti-terrorism AI products, using the artificial intelligence products to screen and find out the accounts related with the terrorist activities and delete them. In addition, the efforts of the governments, the brutal terror attack caused by the ISIS or other terrorist organization also angered the common internet users. A famous hacker organization named Anonymous, in Chinese we call that 匿名者. They have announced publicly to confront the ISIS. And what these hackers can do is use their superb technological capability to invade these terrorist organizations' network system and get their data and their personal information and pass this information to the judicial department and to support countries' anti-terrorism operation. We know that China is a big country, and China is an ambitious country, not only in the real world, but also in the cyberspace. If you look at history, the research and development of the internet technology in China was formally initiated in the 1990s. And although the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, they have highly concerned the risk that the development of internet will promote political liberalism and jeopardize their status in the world. But they also noticed that the great potential of the internet in accelerating economic growth and improving people's livelihood. So internet is a good thing, but internet is a dangerous thing to the Communist Party. Therefore, the Chinese government in the past 2 decades has dedicated to promoting the development of the industry of informational stuff, and also setting various regulations and to manage people's online activities at the same time. Thus constitute a very special governance model of the internet in China. And when Xi Jinping, the current president of China, took office in 2012, and you can see China has demonstrated more ambitious in the international cyber politics. Xi Jinping has pointed out that China is undoubtedly a big country in cyberspace, since it has a large number of internet users. But China is not a strong country, a strong power in the cyberspace, since most of the advanced technology and products are all under America's control. And we know China also has some famous internet companies, like what? Huawei, or Alibaba, or Tencent, Tencent, or Baidu, or things like that. But with all due respect, respectful, but those companies are usually being regarded as followers of American companies, right? So Xi Jinping said China should try to figure out how to promote its status and influence in the cyberspace. So that's why he presented the cyber power strategy in 2014. And this strategy included 5 major tactics. The first one is reshaping the administrative system. So in 2014, China has founded a new unit in central government named Cyber Security and Information Group. In Chinese, 叫做信息安全与资讯小组. And this new unit is led by Xi Jinping directly, and which is in charge to conduct the development of internet technology and the related policies implementation in China, try to strengthen the efficiency of the internet governance. And the second is promoting the capability, especially in terms of research and development. Xi Jinping said China has tried to reduce the dependence on America's companies like Apple Computers or IBM in order to avoid the potential risk to be threatened or repressed by the US government someday in the future. And third is preventing the security threats. They have made several policy documents like National Cybersecurity Strategy to figure out what kind of the threats will happen in the cyberspace and what should the government departments do when these threats will happen. And the fourth is supporting the economic development. And they try to combine this new technology like internet, like artificial intelligence, like cloud computing, with agriculture or some traditional industry like they have some policy I heard before, like 互联网 Plus. And the fifth is managing people's activities. Xi Jinping asked all the government departments to strengthen the management of people's online activities. And he said, of course, government should respond to those reasonable criticism to the party online. But we also have to detect the cybercrime and anti-governmentalist, those activities and speeches online. So after 2012, you can see China's internet industry has continued to grow up, and this new technology have not only used to promote the economic growth, but also been used to manage the domestic society by the Chinese government. And some experts notice that Xi Jinping administration is using these technologies like smartphone, internet, and AI to control people's everyday life in the name of maintaining public order or reducing the crime rate. So these scholars are worried about this situation will further undermine the human rights protection and people's freedom in China. So a few months before, the New York Times worked with the BBC probably. They made a short video to introduce how the Chinese government use internet to control people's daily life. So China is using this system in its domestic society, but also use this system in Hong Kong. And some companies in Taiwan are also very interested in those products and try to buy them. And some US scholars also notice that under Xi Jinping's leadership, China has become more aggressive in the international cyber politics in the past few years. The US information security companies like Mediant and Crosstrack, these companies has fined the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, already established several cyber espionage groups, and think a large number of the data and the intelligence from United States and European countries through the cyber invasion. And the New York Times also found out that the Chinese government has hired a lot of internet users to present the speeches of supporting the government, say something good about the government online. In Taiwan, we call that Wangju, you may know that. And they will also use these internet users, some people call them Umauda, to spread some fake news to interfere with other democratic countries' elections, like elections in the United States, in Taiwan, or in Australia. And meanwhile, the international community also highly concerned about China's digital Silk Road project. In Chinese, we'll call that 数字丝路, and which has been promoted actively by the Chinese government in the past 2 years, and it was a derived project from the famous One Belt One Road initiative. We know that was proposed by Xi Jinping in 2013. And there's two sub-projects under the One Belt One Road initiative, the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road. I think we mentioned that before. And China wants to integrate the internal connection and the transportational efficiency within the Eurasian continent, and by helping neighboring countries to build some traffic facilities like airports, harbors, and the high-speed rail. And just when the Chinese government dedicated to promoting this One Belt One Road initiative, President Xi Jinping has proposed the idea of building the digital Silk Road. This idea in 2017. President Xi has announced that China will enhance the cyber cooperation with neighboring countries and help those backward countries, like countries in South Asia, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia, to build the informational infrastructure and help them and work with them to build a digital One Belt One Road in cyberspace. So after President Xi Jinping proposed the idea of digital Silk Road project, you can see the Chinese government has launched several cross-national cyber cooperation plans with neighboring countries in the field like cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing, and promote the digital economic cooperation with those countries actively. And at the same time, those big companies in China, Huawei company, has helped some Central Asia to build the 5G, the mobile network system in those countries. And Alibaba company has exported its digital payment product, Alipay, do you know? 支付宝, to the Southeast Asia. And Tencent has established the big data research center in South Asia and invited the local business to work together on the big data application. And the reason that Chinese government proposed this digital Silk Road project is for 3 reasons. The first one is the business considerations. We know the Chinese information industry has experienced high-speed development in the past few 2 decades, and those companies, Huawei, Tencent, or Alibaba, has grown up from a small business to a very big companies, and they're trying to open up the overseas market today. And we know most of the China's neighboring countries have both the large number of population and backward informational infrastructure. So these countries are definitely the overseas market that Chinese company wants to enter. So this project, the Digital Silk Road project, can lead the Chinese government, the Chinese companies to enter these countries and develop the business cooperation with them. And the second reason is to support the One Belt One Road initiative. The building project under the One Belt One Road initiative, like harbors or airports or high-speed rails, needs more time to finish. You cannot build an airport in 1 month or in 1 year. That's impossible. So you need more time. So before this project complete, the benefit created by the Digital Silk Road project and the cyber cooperation can help China to attract every country to work with them. And the third is promoting the mutual understanding. The Chinese government understands that still many ASEAN countries are worried about if China's rise will jeopardize their survival or the regional security in Asia Pacific. So it has encouraged its company to work with those countries, especially in the field of internet games and online video entertainments, because the Chinese government believes that will help those countries to work with China together in terms of promoting the mutual understanding and the cultural communication. Some US scholars point out that although China's Digital Silk Road project seems beautiful and generous, but there still have 2 potential risks should be noticed. The first risk is the informational colonization. In Chinese, we call that 资讯殖民. That means when countries in Central Asia, in South Asia, in Southeast Asia, those countries get a lot of benefits from the cyber operation with China. That means those countries' network system, their digital economic system, will become more reliant on China. So that means China can use this technological power to interfere with those countries' domestic affairs. China can control those countries indirectly, so that's a potential risk. And the second risk is the risk of the cyber human rights protection. We know for controlling people's online activities, the Chinese government has created various digital products like the Great Firewall, 防火长城, and the cyber tracking systems. And some scholars noticed that the Chinese government has continued to transfer these products to some neighboring autocratic countries. And through this Digital Silk Road project, helping these countries to maintain their authoritarian regime. So this situation will continue to damage the human rights protection and people's freedom in cyberspace.